time to cook like candy, and today we are making a turkey meatloaf for my loaf pan. So my ingredients, I'm using some turkey, ground turkey, and I'm using turkey Italian sausage. A lot of people don't use Italian sausage, but turkey Italian sausage, I'm not using all of this. I'm not even using all of this. This is 1 pound. I'm going to take half of this pound, and I'm going to take about 2 of these. I'm going to chop up some fresh mushrooms. This is frozen, and I don't want this to melt in my meatloaf, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on the stove first. I'm going to beat a full egg because it has to be beaten because you don't want to overturn your meat. I'm going to mince some garlic and put that garlic in with there. And then here's my seasons. And anything else that I have to do, I will let you in along the way. Also, I'm going to crumble up some bread and put it in this milk. All right? I'm just going to drop a little oil in this pan. And I am going to add my favorite seasoning blend because I don't have to chop this stuff up today. Onion, celery, red peppers, green peppers, and parsley flakes. I'm not going to use a whole lot because, again, I'm not making a big meatloaf. I'm just making a small one for Ty and I. So I'm going to go ahead, and because these are frozen, I want to cook those down so that water can melt off of them because I don't want it to melt inside of my meatloaf in the oven because it's just going to produce way too much juice. So once I get these broken down, I'm going to chop up some garlic and some onions, and I'm going to let those saute a little. So before I do anything, I'm not even going to pretend and act like I'm finna use that. I have a cup of milk here, and I have 2 pieces of bread. I'm just going to crumble this bread up in this milk and let this kind of soak a little. Break up all your bread just like that, okay? I'm going to add that chopped garlic in there. And I'm going to turn this down because I really didn't want it to brown. I just needed to knock off that ice. Because if it melts in your food, we don't want that. So while this is still hot, I'm going to go ahead and chop up some cleaned off, rinsed off mushrooms in there. And I'm going to let those mushrooms saute a little bit too in that mix. And because my mushrooms are wet because I washed them, I don't want the mushroom water to evaporate inside of my meatloaf either. But if you don't like veggies, omit them. But if you like veggies and you know what's up, this is amazing. I would usually use my chopping board, but because mushrooms are so soft, it only takes like a couple of pinches to get them broken down. And I don't need that many because, again, it's not going to be that much. One of the companies calling me that. Okay. So I just have my vegetables mixed in. I am going to add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce in these vegetables. Maybe 2 tablespoons. Who knows? Got to see what it looks like. All right. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of soy sauce in there. Now I just put half a pound of ground turkey in there, and I am going to squeeze the Italian sausage out of the skin because I don't want to cook the skin. So all you gotta do is squeeze both sides out. You getting a good picture this time? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna use 3 turkey Italian sausage links, so it'll be an even mixture. Half of it is ground turkey and half of it is turkey Italian sausage. And then I'm just gonna kind of mash those down together in my country voice. So I'm going to mash those Italian sausage down. They're already softened because I let them thaw really well. And I'm going to mix them. If you want more ground turkey, that's fine. But again, I'm not trying to make a big loaf. So all in all, I didn't really want to exceed that, okay? All right. Before I add my wet ingredients, I am going to sprinkle a little panko or any breadcrumbs. Because I have bread too, I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to do a little because I'm already going to add bread. In a small bowl, I am going to whisk an egg. I'm going to break this egg and I'm going to beat it over here. I'm going to beat my egg now because I don't want to overturn my meat for my meatloaf. Because I don't want the meatloaf to be too, I don't want it to be tough. I want it to be nice and juicy and fluffy. But I want it to be good and well done. So I'm going to beat the egg first before I add it in the meatloaf. And over here to the meatloaf, I got my bread and my milk mix. We'll go ahead and add that in. And I'm going to go ahead and add my egg. Get all the egg out. And before I start to turn this with my hand, I am going to add my season. I'm old-fashioned, but not that old-fashioned. I don't mind using a good meatloaf seasoning because the less, I'm not going to use a whole packet though. I'm just going to use a little bit of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my own cumin in there.
No.
You don't want cumin?
No, you had it on the wrong side.
Oh, put a little dash of cumin in there. I'm going to put a little dash of garlic powder in there. And I'm going to add a dash of onion powder. And some black pepper, but no salt because I've already got soy sauce in there and I don't want it to be too salty. And then that little meatloaf packet probably has some salt in it, okay? So now you can mix it with the spoon or you can get down dirty with your hand. I'm probably going to just let the spoon do the work. Ha. Much as I don't like when people do this, I understand. I'm going to add a little ketchup in my sauce. In my meat. And then I'm going to go back with another dab of Worcestershire sauce because I don't like the way it smells yet. And that Worcestershire sauce, whatever it's called, is going to give me the smell that I am looking for. And again, you can go at this with your hand. I don't feel like getting my hands dirty though. So I'm going to just mix this meatloaf mix. If you want to add barbecue sauce to this, be my guest. I'm going to make a sauce to go on top of it from scratch. So I'll add that tang when I get there. Put some foil in my loaf pan. And this is a small loaf pan. That's why I was trying to avoid a lot of ingredients. And I like the foil to line it for easy pull out because if it starts to brown in the pan and all that, it may make it a little harder to pull it out. So I just lined it with some foil. It protects the pan too. So this meat is going to get packed in here. If you don't have a loaf pan, you can form your meatloaf on a flat pan, a flat baking tray or whatever. Put it in whatever type of oven dish you want, but you want to form it. Let's see if it's too strong. I'm gonna pat this in airtight. Pat it in airtight. Pat it in airtight. I could have added more meat to make this less sticky, but it's okay. It's a lot of wet ingredients in there, so that's pretty much the stick that we're looking at. Some people like to put their sauce on top right now. I don't, and I won't. I'm just gonna pat this thing airtight with this wooden spoon to make sure that all the air pockets are done. My oven has been preheated already to 400 degrees. And I'm about to pop this boy in. All right, to go with my meatloaf today for dinner, I'm going to peel up some red potatoes, saute them a little bit, and then pop them in the oven to roast them, along with some Brussels sprouts. But I'm going to peel these potatoes first, slice them down, and then I'm going to put them in a roaster with some oil, some salt, pepper, and my Brussels sprouts, and just let them roast to a crisp. By the way, my meatloaf is going to be in the oven for about 40 minutes. So tune back in about 40 minutes. Okay, so I've peeled some, like some of them I peeled and some of them I left the red on there, only cause. So I'm going to drop some fresh rosemary in here, some fresh sage, some fresh oregano, just for flavor. I'm going to oil these up with some olive oil. And then I am going to season them with a little of my dry ingredients, my basil, oregano, sea salt, and garlic. So I'm going to just season those up a little bit. I'm going to drop some oil in my skillet, and I'm only going to roast them a little on top of the stove, and then the rest of them, they're going to go in there. So these are raw, but I'm going to just mix these around and get this seasoning on them. I'll sprinkle a little more pepper on them before. I got this small pan with some oil in it, and I'm just gonna drop these in there, and I'm just gonna let them sear a little bit and get a little golden, but not too much. They won't be cooked when I put them in the roaster to put them in the oven. Alright, so they're browned how I want them to be. I ain't trying to cook them, but I do want them to have that brown, so when I put them in the roaster, they're gonna crispy up from there. And I am going to do the same thing with these Brussels sprouts. Just toast them up a little bit, and they starting to brown for me. So I'm just going to add them to this roasting pan. So I have half potatoes, half Brussels sprouts. I'm going to cover them up with some foil, and I'm going to throw those in the oven and let those roast down too. All right. So before I cover them, I added some chopped red onions over my red peppers. And for this, I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil over it all. But particularly for my Brussels sprouts, I'm just going to splash some soy sauce over them. Because when they cook, I want that soy sauce to melt in to kind of give them a little flavor. Alright, so I'm going to cover this with some foil, and it goes in the oven with the meatloaf. Lastly, for my meatloaf sauce, I'm going to add some ketchup. A little squirt ketchup. I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce, and this is on. So I'm going to stir that really quick. So ketchup, Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to add a little ground cumin. I'm going to add some brown sugar. It's not a lot, it's a little in the bag, but I just want to make sure I get a nice blend. I'm going to stir this up, turn it down some. So my dash of apple cider vinegar to balance those. And while I'm in my sauce cabinet, I see some honey up here. Why not? I'm going to go ahead and drop a little bit of honey in there. The sauce tastes really good. But I'm going to go ahead and let those blend. I'm going to hit it with another splash of Worcestershire sauce. Thanks, babe. A little Worcestershire sauce. Alright, so I'm going to pull my meatloaf out the oven, and I'm just gonna lay this across it, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven because my meatloaf isn't done, but I do want this sauce to start baking on it now that I got it browned a little. My meatloaf is not done the way I want it, but it is getting there. So I'm gonna go ahead and lace it with some sauce, and just make sure this sauce is evenly across the top. Some people do straight ketchup. Some people do barbecue sauce. What I just made is something similar to a barbecue sauce. How I like it. So I'm going to get that laced across the top. And then I am going to put it back in the oven. And now I'm going to let it cook. I probably got about 20 more minutes on it. And when it comes out, I'll show you guys how it looks. So when it's done, I let it rest for a good maybe 10-15 minutes just because it's hot and I want it rested. And then I don't like cutting it in here because you tear it up and it's hard to get it out. So I just pull the foil out and lay it flat like this. Lift the whole foil out, set it flat, open it up. I already cut me a piece, but it's still real hot. And then you just slice it as such, and it's so tender. It's all together, and then we plate. Here is the finished product. It's amazingly good. And here is it plated. And I am about to eat. These vegetables are amazing. Bon appetit.